Hello Aries, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm ready here to do the next reading for you Aries. So I have this feeling that this round of readings is going to be transformative in some way. I took another candle out and it's a black one, and I normally don't use black candles. It's not entirely black, it has a white core, but for me the black candles, like, it can tend to like be a bit occult. So I'm not saying that necessarily is bad. I'm just saying that it's that is the vibe that is here. Like, it's like I'm supposed to, I don't know, something that is, well, and you know, like, well, you can look at the last Scorpio reading I did. I talked about the non-form. And something occult is usually that. Like, you know, if we talk about, let's say, a witch doing magic, we can't really see necessarily like the magic energy, but we just see something shifting. When you believe in God, what is it exactly? Like, it has no form. And when I shuffled here and wanted to take your cards out, I took this one first and then this one, and then over here it was like I felt like there was an obsolete place, that there's something that is supposed to lay here. And then I got a book cover, or a, you know, like the front of a book perhaps, but it's like it's not here, like it's not written yet, or you know, it could be you go to family dinner and there is a seat that is not occupied, and normally someone would sit here, but they are not here. Something else may be here instead. Do you understand? Like, this is, I'm not sure whether this is the occult thing, that, you know, like, it's, I want to put it out here. I think it's like it could be something that is not in form yet, that is trying to get one. It hasn't manifested in form yet. You know, if you have an idea about something, you want to build something, manifest something, make a business or something, then you need a business plan perhaps, or you need an approach, and maybe you need knowledge, and maybe some business skills, and that is, you know, like a, okay, yeah, now I get it. Like the book cover, I get manual, like a manual for something, but it's not here. You know, like, it's a manual for something, but it's not here. This is here. This is what is available maybe for you, but, or what you are dealing with maybe regarding this non-manual. I had some of this last week also, like that something is molding. I had that in many readings. Something like it's molding. It hasn't come in yet. It's and there is a, well, you know, if you have a wish, something you really wish for, something you really want to manifest, and you have all these great intentions for it, right? All these dreams and visions. And then when it actually gets here, it can show up differently. That, yeah, maybe you do have, like, customers coming in, but suddenly you're maybe not prepared for them, right? Like or you don't have enough product in stock, or something like. So you have been molding something, and now it actually maybe turns up like. That's what I talk about when from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles, where the Seven of Pentacles is putting in all the seeds for something. And the Eight of Pentacles is being at work and seeing the result of that labor. Now, actually, now the customers are here. Now the requirement for your products is here. And maybe you are actually, yeah, but I don't have that much in stock, or I can't keep up, like now it's actually, now it's all here, right? But I can't keep up. I feel like there is a manual for some, or I don't know if it's a textbook or a manual that you are, it could be missing, like the feeling that it's supposed to be here on the shelf, and it tells me exactly how to do this, but I can't find it. So instead I have to use this one. But it's not the real one. Like, does that make sense? As I said, you may have wanted at the family dinner to talk to your uncle here, because there's something special about your uncle, but your uncle is not there. He didn't come for the dinner. So now you're talking to an aunt instead. But it's not the same. To get my point, it's like there's something here that it's like wanting to seek advice or something. Looking for guidance or advice, and it should be in this book. I should be able to find it here, right? But it's not. I can't find it on the shelf. It came up like a book cover, like looking for a specific cover, because then it's the right one, right? But instead of that, you had to take like a different approach, maybe, or maybe like an entirely different person, as I said, because they are not here anymore. Maybe the empty seat or the vacant seat is about someone is not here anymore, like they have died. We could talk about even like a situation like a step person. Like here, your father was supposed to sit, but your father is not here. Now there is a stepfather here, or mother, or or even maybe step children instead of your own child. Let's say you've had a divorce, right? And your children live with, let's say, the mother, right? And you are the father of those children, and you found another spouse, you're in a new relationship. And you sit here at Christmas, or you are planning for Christmas, and you know that you wanted it to be your children sitting here at the seat, but instead it is her children. And it's not, like there's something not feeling good about this. Do you get my point? Or like it feels like it's missing, or it's not that fulfilling. Whatever this is, I don't know about this card yet, right? I just have this feeling of like the black candle can be the reminder of all the unsaid things. Like the things we want forgiveness for, the things we never said, the the apology we never gave. It can be occult, as I said, like maybe you are into or like divination in whatever kind. This is a tarot reading, right? But manifestations, occult can be dark magic, but I don't want to go there, right? That's not really my field at all. But I say that again, there could be something about like, you know, if this was the scenario with the divorced couple and the father sitting here and missing his children, you know, there could be jealousy here. Maybe there's bitterness. Maybe there's, and now I'm stuck with this, or, well, maybe not stuck. Maybe you love these children, but I'm kind of, I'm obligated maybe with this. But instead, I would have liked this to be present instead, right? This is like a second best, or a or we could even say like the surprise I didn't know would follow. Maybe you met a nice girl, but she never told you she had children, right? Or she never told you she had debt or something. You know, it's something like that. Like I thought we should have this together, and now you show me this, right? Like something like that. We could talk about anything else here. It could be an old contract you're looking for in your, you know, like maybe a deed of your parents' house or something. And you're looking for that, and it should be in the cupboard, right? It should be, normally the papers are there, but the only thing you find is a receipt, or you know, like, and you now have to make what you can out of this, like as a secondary choice or something like that. Like, I really want to stay on the legal side, right? That but with this candle, well, okay. Let's just get in here. Is there anything else? There's definitely a theme about something missing. Again, this can be an ability of you. Let's say you that this represents, like, the reason why there's nothing here is maybe because you can't see it. Like maybe there's something with your eyesight, you can't see it. And because you can't see it, you have to go with a secondary ability. You know, like if blind people or people lose their sight, usually their hearing becomes better. Maybe their like sensory perception somehow increases, but normally you would have been able to see what was supposed to be here. And if you can't find the book cover because you can't see what's on the book, you know, you may be able to figure out this is a book, but I can't see the cover of it. I don't know if it's the right book, right? Then you need to have a help, like a help, or another ability must be here for you to figure out that this book is the Priestess of Light book, right? But you can't read it, right? You can't read it because your sight doesn't allow you to. Do you see? It could be anything, running, jumping, any physical ailments maybe, that normally it would be here. Normally I would play football, right? But because I broken my hip and I can't play football anymore, maybe I will do this instead. Right? Something like that. Okay, let's have a look in the middle here. King of Air. This guy, King and Queen of Air, I feel like they have been around for also a lot in the last readings. I don't know if it still has something to do with this Gemini full moon. It is, it shouldn't have that much of an effect still. But of course there can be any other kinds of reasons for this King of Air showing up here. King of Air can be Aquarius energy, or I would say any other kind of air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Like one of the things that I always think about with this card is the size of him. Like some of the other cards in this deck, they show a different kind of figures, but not necessarily as big. Like he always strikes me as bigger than actually the frame allows. Bigger than the frame allows. That would for me suggest something like a big ego. Appearing bigger than the space allows. Interesting. You know, like if this is an apartment, right? And he is bigger than like what the space allows. He's actually too big. It's like having an elephant in a tiny little room, right? Like he can't move there. We could talk about like having a lot of thoughts, maybe too many thoughts in your brain here, in your head, that this is like the skull, right? And inside there's this like giant dragon, right? And it's actually too big for its own good. Like it's too big for the space available. As I said, it could be like ego. It could be, you know, like dreams. Like the dreams you have are the thoughts you have about a subject is bigger than the frame can hold. The vision you have about something is bigger than the frame can hold. Maybe your body, you know, like you have bigger visions for your life maybe than your body can hold. If you, let's say you have an illness or something, then and you want something, like you have, there are things that you like having to, like thinking you have bigger wings than you have, right? So if you attempt to fly from like the Eiffel Tower, you would crush yourself. You should take only like you know, small jumps down. You shouldn't, like, you know, it's like it could be the other way around, that you actually have bigger wings than you actually assume here. That actually your wings can carry much more than you think, or you let the frame think here. yeah, something like that. Something about the, it could be a dream of yours. Like it's a dream of yours, and it has been growing from just a little bit of seed, right? And now it has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. It has actually outgrown the current frame. Or the plan or the vision you have is bigger than something allows here. Let's say if we talk about timelines here, then if you primarily have lived your life in a third dimension, you would have been dealing with duality and the matrix and all the programming. You have participated in this thing. If you somehow have managed to shake up your belief systems and you have changed the way you think, it's like now your thinking doesn't match the frame or the matrix. Does that make sense? It's like you have outgrown something. You have outgrown something. Or maybe you have a bigger vision now or a bigger purpose in regard to the life you are currently living. Like the frame doesn't allow for this. It's like you should expand in some way, right? You should have more space. You should have, you should allow yourself to think bigger, maybe, or allow the frame to be bigger. See the bigger picture of something. Like, if people, they watch a lot of television, right? That's what the frame allows you to see. But this guy, he kind of says there's more. You could even say this is the shape of a phone, right? So if you watch the phone here, that's great. Or you watch a lot of television. Yeah, you have information there, but there's much more. Or even this idea, like you can watch a television series about, let's say, Egypt. But it's not the same as actually being there. Feeling the heat, the smell, looking at the Giza pyramids yourself. Like the representation can never be the same. Like there's much more to be seen, much more to be experienced if you actually went there yourself. So I'm just giving examples here. Does it make sense? Having outgrown, it's like there is a bigger, maybe potential or purpose here. And it's like the setting or the again, as I said, if you have lived in the third dimension and these visions here, they belong in the fifth dimension, it's like it needs a shift, right? It needs a shift to a new realm. If you have been living I don't know about Aries, but let's say you have been, for some reason, been living a humble life, right? You have not made a fuss of yourself. You have kind of just stayed in line. But maybe again, you could have been working about with your thoughts and how you think about yourself, how you communicate here. There could be a big voice here, a much bigger voice than the frame allows. or a bigger message than the frame, I don't know, society matrix allows. You know, like it becomes too loud or too big somehow. Maybe in a setting, let's say you attend a family dinner here and you say something, and what you're saying is actually much bigger than that your family understands. It's like speaking out of context, like they just sit with you, like, what are you talking about, right? We could talk that this is like an out of the box epiphany, or an out of the box thinking, that you have a way of thinking that is out of the box, out of the frame. And because you think like that, there could be maybe a need to develop something, or a need to something here. But I also believe that people that think like this, they have, like they need, you know, like people that think the same way around them. Like if they are, like if you constantly think out of the box, those that think inside the box, they don't get you, right? They don't get the expansive way of thinking. And you come in here with your ideas, right? And you present them inside the frame, and it looks too big, like, you know, unachievable maybe. Does that make sense? Like having unachievable dreams or something inside the matrix here, like the inside society, only such and such can be a success. Only such and such can be established. Only such and such is legal. Only if you do it this way, and you follow these laws and regulations, then the society approves. But what you are talking about here may break those rules, right? Maybe you know, like a challenge of certain rules here. For some reason, I also get Emperor energy here. Aries is the Emperor card, but this is not the Emperor. It suggests for me an out of the box thinking approach to something, because you want to become the Emperor. Like you want to become the Emperor here, Aries. And in order to do so, you have to think outside of the box, otherwise you can't move, perhaps. Maybe this is financial, right? That maybe you are limited in your current, you would say, financial situation, and in order to somehow change that, you have to do something that is challenging this frame, I feel like. There could be something about rules, regulation, legislation, documents. It's air energy, so it's communication. It can be written, it can be telephone, there could be a lot of research here to figure something out. Learning maybe. But it's like, you know, it's supposed to like expand out of the box. Be bigger than what the box normally allows, you would say. The rattle. What was that? I don't remember in the last round of readings. It was one of the last readings. Was it Aquarius? maybe we had the rattle in the same position, the king of air, I believe, in the same position also. And this is Aquarius energy, and Aquarius is known to be the rebel. Is the Aquarius is known to be the futuristic thinker that kind of would exactly do that, break out of the box. Because the box is it's a mainstream thinking. Like it's what we know. But what he is doing here, he's thinking bigger than that. Like he thinks outside. He stretches, you could say, outside of the box. Maybe that's not what people see, but that's what he's doing. He's way bigger. It could be something about like big ambitions. You know, like I said, a big ego, maybe Aquarius energy. Well, it's usually, you know, Aquarius can have, they can seem selfish in the way they respond sometimes. But deep down, there is a big love for humanity. And many people, many Aquarius people, they are somehow involved in something for the greater good of something. For the greater good of humanity, for the greater group of this particular group of people, right? I want to expand the thinking about a certain group, maybe, or humanity here, right? I'm willing to, you know, like make the boundaries burst, right? I'm challenging you to think outside of the box here. So this could be a big idea about something, a big need also, I think, to solve something. A big message of something here, but it's... And I feel like the rattle is like last warning. Like the rattle here is like alarm clocks ringing here, that it's time to break out of the box or to quit these old ways or something. Like it's time, right, to do something here. Let's have a look. Just get the book here. I have a new mic. I hope it works and maybe makes the audio a bit better. Was a request from a viewer. Okay, let's see here. The rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with the prayer, Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. So, if you have a big ego, Aries, you are asked to think for the greater good, not only your personal, you could say, personal needs. And that's exactly what I just said about Aquarius energy. It is, maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius here, right? And they may have, you know, like a very big voice here, right? A very big voice that says, think for the greater good of humanity here. How can you be in service, perhaps, of the greater good of humanity? And I get this feeling of like wanting to, you could even say it could be a bit like wanting to break out of a prison And the only way you can do it is to grow yourself bigger and more fat. Eventually the prison bars can't hold it, right? You will at some point break them. Does that make sense? Like, I have to make myself bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually the prison can't hold me, right? We could even say something like building evidence about something. And the more and more I gather, the more and more evidence I have, eventually the charges don't hold, right? Eventually they have to let me go, right? Maybe like the containment suggests, something like that you have your own what is that called? That the containment or that it somehow represents some fears, but inside there are some very big dreams and very big visions here. But the reason why this frame hasn't been broken yet is our fears. Can I have a card on this King of Air, please? Let me know a little bit about him. Why is this frame? Why is he? It's, like it would be like a bird, a dragon that can move inside a little bit of. If it we could even talk about a birth here, right? Like when the baby becomes too crowded in there somehow in the womb, right? Then eventually it has to be birthed. That could also be what this suggests, right? That something is about to be birthed because it's actually too big to be there. I feel like it has been too big for a while, actually. But that could be a reason why it hasn't been birthed, why the frames haven't been. Again, because I get this feeling that it's supposed to be something here. Or something is supposed to be here. And as long as it's not there, I'm not like, I just keep continuing like fitting in here. So I get this card here for this King of Air. It says, go with the flow, letting go, cleansing and receiving. Yeah, so maybe that's what you're doing. I feel like actually the upper words here is what how to explain why the King of Air is in the frame. He just tries to go with the flow here. And look how she is protective of her heart here with the hands. I feel like it's like trying to hold something in, but eventually it will burst, right? It can, otherwise it dies, right? That's what I feel like. It can't stay in there forever. But it's like there's something that is supposed to be here that is not here. for this to be birthed, I feel like, or for this to be said, you know, like breaking a silence, finally speaking a truth, letting some secrets out, or, you know, giving the forgiveness or saying I'm sorry, you know, like, you know, it could have been something that is growing in you, feeling more and more and more a need to say something, more and more a need to, I don't know, say no or put up boundaries or something, or as I said, to forgive something, to say sorry, I'm sorry, ask for forgiveness, but you know, they have just tried to go with the flow. They have just tried to, well, maybe do their own cleansing and so on, and healing or letting go, but it feels to me like there is something that is still kept, I feel like it's not flowing freely, actually. It's not flowing freely. As I said, it can't really move in there. It's too big to be there. Like, you should take that elephant to the savannah, right? That it's like keeping a dragon in a bird's cave, right? But it's a dragon, right? Why should it be in a bird's cave? It should fly freely. It's like having something under lock that is not supposed to be, I think. But I feel like there is a reason why it's under lock. There's something here that is an important factor to why this is like this. So for the rattle here, I get the 4 of Gabriel, which is actually the 4 of Wands. Time for a celebration, abundant rewards for hard work. Release yourself from burdensome situations. It's like there's a call here to birth something, or make, if this is a phoenix rising, he's not rising, and it's like there's so much here. You're ready. Just fly, right? Release yourself from burdensome situations. It's time to celebrate. There's abundant rewards ahead of you for this hard work you've done, and it's just, I've said something in some of the other readings the last round, like fear of success or fear of exposure. Like, if I just let go and follow the flow here and just protect myself a little bit, then nobody will actually see how big I am, or nobody will. Okay, you know, like, the thing that could be missing here, I don't know if it's you know, it could be applause. Like, you know, that if you have been doing something but nobody seems to know it, nobody seems to understand it, maybe the reason why it is kind of in a frame is because it is a secret. that what you are doing here is a letting go. What you are doing is a cleansing. It is a phoenix rising. I just feel like it's, but you pretend like you keep it a secret perhaps. And there is maybe no support. Like the person that could support you in this. Like the one that should really, like give you a pat on the shoulder and said, well done, right? It says here, time for a celebration, abundant reward for hard work. You have done it, right? But there's this feeling of that something is, it's like there is no price. Haven't I said that before for Aries? It's like there's no price. Where is my trophy? Where is my prize? Where is the money? Where is the adoration? Like there is no visible result of something. I've said that before for Aries, haven't I? Like something is missing. For me to flow freely, I feel like. It's like I need that proof. A proof of something. For me to speak freely perhaps here, or to show myself. He has a mask on here. Normally I don't. Sometimes I pay attention to that. It depends a little bit. And somehow I feel like the mask is because he is keeping smaller. Like he keeps himself in the frame. Like it's going along. It's like going along, go with the flow, going along with maybe the matrix, like what the matrix dictates. I said before, the laws, the rules, maybe moral tradition, but actually you are not, like if you could spread your wings here, you would expand out, you would break out of that and just fly away, right? It's not, it's definitely an outside of the box thinking, but I feel like maybe also, like fed up with like meaningless tradition. Fed up with being fed up with something, I think here. Aquarius is this rebellious, I've had enough kind of and rather fixed opinion. And I think like the rattle is here, it's like the applause is actually here. You just don't see, it's like there is no physical evidence perhaps here, or proof of your endeavor. What you have instead is this. The Magician. I said something about occult things, didn't I? Look at this card. It's actually quite occult in the sense of the colors and everything, right? The Magician is Gemini energy. It is Gemini Virgo energy. It is well, of course, it works with the idea of having all four elements at your disposal, and you and this is what you can work with. For some reason, I feel like there's something. You have this. This can be someone around you, or you have Gemini energy with you. in your personal chart, personal planet maybe. As I said, it's like you're looking for something specific here, but all you have is this. Interesting. It's a bit like, a magician with magician powers, but they don't know they are a magician. So even though these things are on the table, they don't know how to use it. Like they have the potential, but they have no they have no teachers, like the manual, the book. There is no book here. Like maybe you even know, like maybe you do have some skills, but it's like you don't. I need a manual. I need a manual to fly here. All I have this. And these are very, like, they belong to Earth, right? They belong to what we can manifest in the earthly realm. What is missing here is ether, like ether as an element, if you can say that. It's like I feel like a cosmic guidance, a cosmic manual. And because I don't have that, even as a king of air here, I can only deal with what is here already. I said, like, it's like somehow it's like a feeling that somehow you know that there's something you're supposed to be able to do, but you don't see it. Like, some are into tarot cards and oracle cards, right? Some use pendulums. Some read tea leaves, read palms, or some are into astrology or numerology, or there are different ways of working with these energy things, right? Energy things. And this comes across to me as a limitation, even though it's a magician. It comes across to me as like there's something that is supposed to be here, but it's almost like it's not available. Like the teacher is not here, the manual is not here. We talk about that Merlin was the sorcerer's apprentice, right? So it's like being Merlin, but there's no apprentice. Like feeling there's no apprentice, so I can't hatch, right? I can't hatch with all this big vision of mine, all this knowledge I have. It's like I can't put it to use in some way. Like it's like I need a guide, a mentor, and normally I would say a king of air is not like, doesn't need a mentor, right? They are quite clever. But it could be, like having a vision and then actually grounding it, getting it done, executing it, building it. Like, the physical plans of something, it could, maybe you need a helper here, right? To get you set up with something. it's like all you have to at your disposal is this, which is actually also a lot. But you know, if we take these two cards here, it's like this is Gemini energy and this is Aquarius energy. Gemini energy is young as opposed to Aquarius. Like wisdom wise, this is the wisest. Like they are in, you could say, how can I say that? Like this one has been this one once. It's like needing to go backwards and using tools from the ancient times. You could say this one could be from the future, right? And they have certain, you could say, knowledge and tools available. But in this timeline, you can work with this. Right? You have this at your disposal. It's the only thing you can use. I've said in some of the other readings, I said that telepathy is one of the the quickest, easiest, by far the quickest, easiest, most complete transfer of information. It's like receiving a zip file. I've said that before. Receiving a zip file and instantly have integrated everything. But in this world we live in, like we get the zip file, we click on the computer, we open the zip file, we download it, then we open it, we see what is in it, we have to decipher each thing. Is this accounting or sales or economics, or is it a video? Is it a love letter? What is it? What kind of emotions are attached and everything? And it goes through our personal filter, where we do not necessarily have open hearts. With telepathy and open hearts, it's instant like that. Like you barely have to look at each other. Then you have an imprint of the other person. Like it's that quick, and it's so full. Like you get a lot of information there. The intentions, the heart, the feelings, how they see you. There's no muddy filter of old past experiences that could somehow muddy everything. But I get the feeling of like a soul that is here, that has like very important skills here of probably communication, but feeling contained in the timeline because they can only use this. And I feel like this is children's toys for an Aquarius. Like, do you see the difference? It's like this is first of all, he believes it's obsolete. Like it's not at all. I said that before in, I don't know which reading, but I said before something like it's obsolete, it's flawed, like we misunderstand each other, we interpret through this filter, and every one of us is different. And our past experiences are challenging the information. We have lies, betrayal, manipulation, and stuff going on here in this timeline because to protect ourselves sometimes, right? Some use this more than others. And this is what this is what he is facing here, right? It's like, what am I going to do with this problem here? Because I can only use this, like I can, or let's say, if this guy here, he knows a lot, right? But the only way he can bring it across in this timeline is with some of this. So he could be doing tarot cards, some of the other things I'm saying, right? He can lean upon some of these tools. But in his world, there's more. But for now, he is containing it because he can't find a manual, right? To like hatch it, or to like the key to open it. Does that make sense? For now, he has this. He's using a skill that is, well, I feel like in his eyes, it's like there are too many misinterpretations or flaws possible here. It's not as reliable as this. This is also like, it's way bigger, right? It has much more. And that's what I feel like exactly. This is the zip file, right? There's so much more information in the zip file. But this is what he can use. Like, he wants to send a zip file, but he is forced to send only this, because this is the only thing that our system allows. The frame doesn't allow for this. Like, it's too much information, or it's too much in one letter. It's too much to ask, I feel like. It's too much to ask. So he, like he tries to go with the flow, like he has to, I feel like. He can't challenge the timeline, I think, and the current like development in the world. Like the computers we have, they are like they are. The AI we have is at a current state. This could be much bigger, like much, much bigger. But he cannot like put it out there, right? It won't work with anything. It's like having like a plug-in device, but there's nothing to plug it into that fits. Like, I have this new device that is from the future, and I want to show you. I want to plug it in, but there's nothing you can plug it into. So it can't be interpreted. It can't be heard or seen or it can be downloaded. It can be opened. Yeah, it's like a manual that can't be opened. Does that make sense? Like having a flop disk and saying, can you open this? And nobody has a flop disk device anymore. So like I would say it's probably something else. It would be so he's forced. It's like, he has a USB device, right? And all we have is flop disk devices. So he comes with his USB device, and he wants to plug it in somewhere to unlock this zip file so that everybody can see. So that everybody can see what he sees and what he knows here. But there is no, like there's only floppy disk devices. Like he can't, it's like he can't unzip it for everyone to see. Does that make sense? Like, that's what I feel like. It could also be the feeling that if I try to, nobody is listening, right? Like I have this knowledge or this truth or this download or this information, but it's like I can't seem to unlock it. And that makes me somehow stuck in the frame. Does that make sense? So I get a card here. I wanted for the King of Air and this situation. I get middle world. Again, I get this feeling of like the frame. I hope you can see that there's a bubble here, right? But there's something outside of the bubble, right? And that's what I feel like. It's like I'm in here, and it's for some reason I can't seem to open this bubble up for everybody to see that there's much more, or that I am much more, right? That could also be it, that I hold much more than what you can see. You see this, which is great, but there's much more to me. Like there's more, but it seems a little bit like I can't. Like there's no. How do I make them see? Right? If they have only glasses that can see this, they can't see the rest. Like they can't see the rest of the universe, right? They can't see the rest of the information. Like it's kind of locked into this and nothing else. Could be if like if you are actually having like really big thoughts about things for humanity, it could be the reason that. It could be a bit like, yeah, but humanity is here. It sees only superficial things. It's not connecting with the roots. Like if they knew the root of the cause of something, then they would be able to do something about it. But because they all operate in here and all have walls up and filters and then you won't have the full expanded version of something. It's like wanting to like open it up, but feeling restricted in that. We could talk about your brain here, right? That like you have limited ways of allowing for new to come in, perhaps here. Like you have boundaries here. That there are limitations to what you allow in here. Maybe you know that. That could be what this talks about, like this protection here. It could be this feeling that I'd rather stay where I am, because if I actually open this up, I will be able to look at the roots of something. I will be able to think about other kinds of ways of thinking, other ways of expanding my mind, other ways of interacting. We could have someone who is afraid of maybe psychic abilities here. Let's say you have an ability for telepathy here, real telepathy with the cosmic realm. But as long as you like stay unhatched here, inside the frame, and protect yourself here, and you pretend that, I don't know, I just stay where I am. But you actually have a big ability. Like, this is your potential, you have this, but you are playing it small, right? You are not, you're not opening up. You are using childlike tools here for you. That's what I feel like. This is old school. Like this, for you, this is old school. Or playing yourself small or something. It like the ability you have here that is maybe under lock, like you keep it unlocked, that it's still in there. And for some reason, I feel like it has to do with this. Like, I have this zip file, but I don't know how to open it. It's like I know there's something there in me, perhaps. Or if you're dealing with an Aquarius, maybe like there's potential. I know there is potential, but it's just like, it seems like they don't even know how to unlock this, right? I feel like it, and then I pretend, right? I just follow the flow here. But it seems like there is something really to be celebrated here. You have done hard work. What if I tell you that this is going to hatch when it's ready? Like this zip file will unlock itself when the time is right. I have recently seen this Korean soap opera thing, and it was about a couple that has been fated by destiny through lifetimes, right? And they meet up in this new life, and they don't know each other. It's just there's some kind of connection. And the woman, she is a shaman, or she has the potential of being the shaman. She doesn't know it, like she has no awareness of it. But she, at some point, she receives a box that has to do with her in a different life. She was that shaman in a different lifetime. She left a box with different magical spells. But you see, without that box, the potential was there, but she had no idea of how to use it, So she sat down and read the instructions, like the manual, right? She sat down, she got a box. And the box was somehow equipped with some kind of lock. And she sat with the box. She meditated over the box. She tried to break it open. She forcing it open, right? She called him her partner in crime here, right? And asked if he knew something. She prayed at it. She asked it to open. And nothing happened. And she actually gave up a bit. Right? She put the box on the shelf knowing that, well, she didn't know how to open it, right? And she, felt like this cannot be my box, right? It can't be for me, not knowing what was in there at that time. Then some evening, out of nowhere, while she was sitting in the living room doing something else, the box opened by itself. And she looked at it and realized it's opened. And then she had a look at what was in there, all these spells and everything. But you see, that's what I feel like. It's like what if this is something that can't be forced? Like, it's going to open. It will hatch when it's ready. The key will present itself, or suddenly it's just there. Or the fears that you have around something here that keeps the bubble off disappears. Maybe there is still some cleansing or letting go to be done here, but eventually I think it's going to present itself. Maybe this guy represents someone you could have telepathy with. Like maybe this is someone you could communicate with. Maybe that's why he's larger than the frame, right? That he is a big entity somehow. He has a lot of knowledge. The King of Air is connecting with Aquarius energy connects with Saturn and Uranus, and they are both very big planets, and they can have very big impact on us. We have a green planet in the background here. But again, as I said, it's like the Magician. And normally, well, I see the Magician as a very, very interesting card. Because a lot can happen when you have these abilities. But for some reason today, it comes across as just like childish, childlike. It's ineffective. And there are so many it's like child's play. It's not to be relied on. It's faulty or flawed or whatever you can call it. There are misunderstanding can happen because everybody filters through their own experiences and their own fears and their own, judgment and so on. But this is cut clear and sharp information. Not to be doubted, not to be there's no need to doubt. Like this energy, there's no need to doubt what it's about. Like that's how efficient it is. It's not third dimensional. It's not necessary to have your guard up. But it requires an open heart. And if you don't have that, or the one you're communicating with, they don't have that, then it will be this strange, muddled kind of communication. Or obsolete, as you could say, or it only has, it only allows for something here. It's not the full package. or as I said, it's child's play. Like in his eyes here, this is child's play. But that's kind of the only thing you have at the moment available. This is the only thing you feel is available at the moment that you can use to maybe, well, Gemini's air energy as well, to communicate something or to bring forth some kind of message. But there's more here. It's just, for some reason, I feel like you cannot force it. Again, because forcing is not kind. As simple as that. Forcing something is not kind. Forcing something big to fit into a small frame is not kind. Right? There's more to a situation, or there's more to be understood or learned. But you should still celebrate, like you should still be happy here. Release yourself from burdensome situations of maybe fear. Then I take another card here on the rattle and I get the Queen of Air. Like the Queen of Air and the King of Air, they are a match here. And maybe that's why we have like the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is usually what we call the 1111 card. It can be called the marriage card. Like this is the happy ever after card. Time to celebrate. Something is recognized, I feel like maybe that's what you need, right? Maybe you need the Queen here to help you unlock something. A Queen of Air here. Again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. She has turned up quite a lot also, like both of them have. There's something in the wind here, like something is stirring in the wind. Or in our minds. Like maybe it's like you can hear it, right? That something is whispering to you. Rattle in the wind here. For some reason, I feel like she can help you here. She is, well, of course she is a partner. She's like him. Like she's actually a perfect partner here. The rattle could suggest that someone is saying something to you here that is unlocking something. The rattle talks about, praying for the entire earth, not only yourself. So something about the selfishness of something, that you see the bigger picture of something, right? And that can be the rattle. Like that can be maybe a game changer, right? Because it's a way of connecting with the world. She has a helper here by her side. For some reason I get High Priestess with this one, like she is I get Four of Pentacles here. Protective. Earthy, protective energy. Again, the rattle. Again, I get this feeling of think bigger, like, yeah, you have your own personal stuff going on, or your family, you know, like there's this thing that we are usually very occupied with. But the Four of Pentacles can talk about being a bit protective of the things you have, like your stuff and your... She could be challenging you here to have a look at this. Is it really that important, all this, the things that you have? Like, is it... What matters here? What really matters? A Four of Gabriel, Four of Pentacles. There's something about the 4 number. 2 fours here. I feel like the Queen could be challenging you to think. Like not being possessive about what you have, right? Again, think bigger, right? That people are starving in the world. People are living, you know, under crisis or war or something. But she's challenging you then, right? I feel like it could even suggest that, you know, this can be people that are protective about their stuff, right? That think about them, right? Think about those who don't have much. Think about those who are literally in war right now. And they have maybe left their home with just these 4 belongings, right? Think about them for a moment. Or think about the poor people, right? Think about them, that there's... Like the rattle can also be the, you know, like again with the 4 of Gabriel here and the Queen, which is a perfect match for the air, the King of Air. Well, when I say the rattle can be like the feeling of needing to step up. Like she's asking him to step up his game. Like, don't hide yourself, right? Step up your game, because you can do something. The rattle, as I said, it could be like this warning, or the alarm bells of like, there's like, she is, I feel like, the representative of the Four of Wands here. Like, she is a celebrative, and she is like, I feel like she is celebrating and supportive here. She's just reminding us to think about others here. Why is that so difficult for this king? Like the protective arms, I feel the frame, I feel this. It's like, why is it so like difficult for this King of Air to think outside of his own little bubble or so? I hear something about responsibility. Then I will be responsible, right? Then I will be responsible. I get the King of Wands here. Another king, right? I feel like instantly when I look at this card, I feel like, but then I have to do something. Like, then I have to take action. Like a King of Wands here, if there's something he wants and something he desires, he goes for it, right? He goes for it. He won't hold himself back. Like, he would do whatever it takes to get there. Then I have to unleash fire here. Well, the King of Wands can be like, he's very passionate and he has a lot of willpower and go-getter energy. He has a lot of force, I want to say, like he can't force something through, right? But that could be you, right? You are fire energy. A King of Air and a King of Wands. And this one is larger, like he is so big, right? And he can't frame like he's bigger than the frame. This one is not. Now for some reason, again, I get this, I've had this before, that we have to have a look at our rising sign. Like if we take a look at these two kings, which one seems biggest? There's no doubt, right? This one does. This one fits into the you could say the frame quite nicely. But even though he has a lot of fire, he doesn't feel, to me, when I look at these two, I have no doubt that this one is like way bigger. Like he is more powerful, this one. He takes up much more space. He has a lot to say. Where this guy, well, he's still powerful, but kind of overruled by this one. It could be the feeling, this is your rising sign, this is your sun sign, right? And maybe you have air here. Maybe you have air, Aquarius in your rising. There's something, another energy in you that is very big, or has developed to become very big. I said in the beginning, like an ego maybe. And that ego is actually keeping another energy down. This is not quite unlocked, and it keeps this down, I feel like. The King of Wands is not quite an emperor, but he will get there, you know. Again, I feel like as long as you sit here and you are very like you are in this bubble of something, you will never get to your roots. You will never see the fuller picture of who you are and what you can do, and you will never find this one, because he is your root, right? He is like the origin that you come from. You are fire sign. The first one in the zodiac, right? I don't know who this is, but they're keeping, if this is not a part of yourself, it's definitely someone who is, it is like a lid on something here. You know, it could be a pretense, you know, like you pretend to be this king of air. A bit modest, I feel like. He's in this frame. He keeps himself smaller than he is. Maybe more humble. Maybe, you know, and again, he can't. It's like there is something to be built here or unlocked, like a manual of something that is not written yet or achieved yet. And I think it's because you only have some of the information. Again, I feel like you cannot unlock it before something. That you cannot force it. You should celebrate where you are, I think, like. It is the center card, so it's important. Go with the flow. Let go of things, cleanse and receive. That's what he's doing. I still have this feeling of a frame. A bit like larger than life I hear here. This can be an ego thing. A stubborn one. Aquarius is very stubborn. Fixed on some kind of idea about something. And well, I'm not here to criticize someone, but well, some people do have large egos, right? And they can take up all the space, like in you. It can fill you up entirely and direct all your thoughts, all your actions. It's based on maybe this energy here. It can be contained. I feel like it's contained. It can be a moon energy here as well. Meaning that it's under lock, it's hidden or secretive, but it works, in the background of everything you do. That's what it is. Or you have an energy here that works in the background. And I feel like, because I was, when this came out, well, it's a fine energy, but it's not Aries, right? Like this one could be. This one could be. And it's like I've said before, what was it? Was it in Aquarius reading? I said, use your air, because you're an air sign. But here I read for a fire sign. I read for you, Aries, and I have a king of air here. It's like trying to solve your, I don't know, problem, your challenge maybe here, by using mind, using out of the box thinking, which is great. I just feel like maybe it's not your usual way. It's not your usual way. There can be a reason for using that energy, maybe forcing something or becoming very determined is not working, or you have tried that. You put him in the background and now you try this. In what it is you're trying to accomplish. We could talk about, like having a big ego with like a big idea and wanting to accomplish it. But only having these tools available. So it's maybe slower. It is, like it's like a child playing. And sometimes what do children do? Like they don't have the full answers. They play and they just try something, It's like, just sometimes they figure stuff out by just trying something. But instead you would have preferred like a full manual of something, because that would have been easier. You could just, like open it or open the zip file manual and it would instantly be there available in you. Maybe there's something about patience here, or divine timing, being impatient. Because this guy, he would go and get it. Like he would go and get what it is that he wants. But maybe that's a problem, right? He can't go and get it. It's not available. You can run around the world if you want to. It's not here. Maybe it hasn't been written yet. Maybe you're supposed to write it. But you're thinking about this still. It's in the frame. You're still thinking about this. It's not available. If it has been available, you would have sent this guy here, right? You would have used your fire to get it. Maybe that's a problem. Like you couldn't go and get it. Like it's not there. Maybe it's not written yet. I said this guy here, Aquarius energy, can be futuristic. It thinks out of the box. It expands out to the cosmos, right? Aquarius energy is rebellious. It also stands for new development, futuristic new things that are not here yet. That's what I feel like. It's like it's something that you want to somehow call in here or be part of developing, but it's not here. The manual is not here. You have to go by some of the, I get child's play. It's like child's play. It's not at all efficient. It's way too slow and way too limited. It's way too limited. I can use the elements here, but there's so much more out there. And if I could unlock that, if that was available here now, I would have unlocked this a long time ago. I would have made it. I would have written that book. I would have made that manual. I would have made that. I would have completed that theory. I would have completed this science project. But there could be a sense of a bit of future faking, in the sense that I have this great vision, but because of this and that and this and that and this and that, I can't make it. It's not possible. I lack all these kinds of things, and they are only available on other planets, so I can't build this device. I have these great plans, but because of this third dimensional Earth and what's only available here, then of course I can't build this big project that I have in mind. It's like having again these greater thoughts, but not being able to execute it. Like there are things or devices that haven't been developed yet, and because of that, then I can't make my quantum frame, or I can't develop this and that, or I can't conclude this article, science article, or I can't, but it's like a future faking thing. It's like I have this giant, amazing thing for humanity, but we can't build it because something is not available. And that's why I can't send this guy. No matter where I search here on Earth, I can't find it. So I have to wait, right? I have to wait for it to fall into my lap. And you can wait forever, depending on what your plan is here. I'm sorry I'm a bit direct when I say things like this. That is what I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm here to wake you up. Is what you are doing beneficial for your life? Is it what you are doing here, is that beneficial for you? Or is it just your ego talking? Is it I'm sorry, right? And this is what I get, is it beneficial for your current life? And everything in it. To stick with this. I don't know if you want to impress someone or something. It's just what you have done already is great. But it seems like there is a situation that you can't seem to solve. And sometimes we have to find peace with that. then it stays just an idea or a vision. It stays a fantasy or a dream. Maybe this is what she is talking about, right? Come back here, right? Come back. Come back to me here. Because our marriage is lacking attention, right? Something is not nurtured, I think. Think about others as well. Think about us as well. Think about I understand this, but it's a dream that maybe you can't follow it. Or it will hatch itself when it's ready. The plan will come up, right? It could be a big manifestation you're trying to make here. It is probably going to manifest itself when it's time. It's just, maybe it's not time yet. Or, as I said in the beginning, sometimes there is something great to be found in the non-form. As long as something is a fantasy and a dream, you can shape it as exactly as you want it to. You can make it as big and profound as you want it to. You know? But when you actually try to manifest it in this world, there can be many steps to that. Like maybe it's more difficult to have that business than you thought. Like the dream was better, right? Maybe the larger than life idea and product you wanted to develop to cleanse the oceans, maybe it's not possible, or you don't have the funds, or you don't have like people you can work with, or people don't like your ideas, nobody wants to invest in it. Then it still stays this dream that never gets hatched. But there can be something in that as well, as long as when we think about God, like God in non-form has a certain representation in each person's mind, I believe. Like what it is. But if it would actually be, sipped into a human, like Jesus was, now you look at something that it has shape now. Now it has a form. Now it has an identity even, a name. It has a behavior. It acts in a certain way. Either you like it, you don't like it. Clearly there was seemingly a threat about Jesus at that point, right? Since the king was hunting him down, or the emperor at that time, right? But you see, there will always be different ways of interpreting things. As long as it is in non-form, you can mold it and shift it and make it bigger. You can make it huge, enormous, right? You can change the shape. You can give it a new color. You can, and you can work on that idea as much as you want. And it's still, like in the molding form or still in the womb creative process. And there can be a certain quality to that. When you actually must take it out of the womb and like really ground it, you could say, then there are all sorts of things coming along that you may not have anticipated or you may not like, right? And that's what I feel. It's almost like I feel like a wife is saying, come home, right? I miss you here. I miss you. I feel like you're not putting like effort into our relationship here. And there is a lot to be found here. Like, we have a lot to celebrate, right? You're the love of my life here. We have a life together. It's a bit like the genius, you know, that gets absorbed by some kind of like equation that he wants to solve. And he locks himself into the shed with a lot of billboards, right? And he writes and writes and writes, and he stays there for, weeks. He barely eats, he barely sleeps, he gets totally obsessed with it. It's very big, like it fills up all the space and more. And he neglects something here. Like he's neglecting something that is actually also of value. Maybe a queen, like a mother, feminine here. Maybe this is a child. But she is turning up with like the four of Pentacles here, which could suggest like a feeling that needing to protect those that and what is around you. Like, what about us, right? What about, like, we need you, right? We need you to be around. Think about those who don't have that much. Think about those that are not as fortunate as you. Yeah, you know, I get this, like, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, and in like I'm in this bubble of thinking. I think a lot here, but it's like I can't seem to, like, maybe see the bigger picture or find the conclusion, solve the equation. It's like there's something missing. As I said, it's like I'm playing with children's tools. If I could go and get it, I would, but it's like it's not available. Like being absorbed with like an unsolvable dilemma or equation. And not feeling that you can leave it, like it has become a mission almost. And I just have the feeling that something is calling you to attend more at home, maybe. Or the Four of Gabriel, Four of Wands, is usually about, you know, like the home, the marriage, the wife, the children, you know, the house, the garden. We need you at home. Maybe we even need you working, right? Because we need the money. We need, like, the money is tight here. Maybe he knows that, right? He knows it. He's trying to figure out how to solve it, but not seeming to find the manual. like a good, clever, intelligent, brilliant manual for how to solve something, solve maybe a financial thing here. Again, there's I feel like responsibility. If I have to come out here, I have to take action. Then I have to, like, if I show myself, I really have to make sure that this holds water. Like, this is a solid plan. And I can't seem to be sure of that yet. It's like I haven't found like the teacher, the mentor, the manual. It's like I don't see it clearly yet. That's what I feel like. Can we have an advice, please, on this situation? So yeah, I get community here. Like, community would be like those around you. Well, I don't know, maybe this is customers or clients. Build a community, find friends. Find someone, again, I said that before, didn't I? Something about finding someone with common interest or common thoughts. Because you have thoughts that kind of go out of the box. And you need people to think the same way as you here, Aries. It's like you want to expand outside of the box. And I think you're trying to do something on your own, but maybe you need, like community here. Maybe you can't seem to find this on your own. As if you could, you would have gotten there and taken it or found it. Maybe what you are trying to do is, it would be a good thing to find like-minded people, I want to say. Like to help you unlock whatever situation this is. Again, I feel like the community is a bit of the same thing as I said, like, yeah, you have your way of thinking, but there's more here. And if you expand with others, you would see that, right? You would get a fuller picture of something. Like maybe they know something that can help you not to stay the magician here or to rely on a magician. As I said, it could be like a stepfather, I don't know, mother. But it's not helpful. Like what they have to offer is not, it doesn't match this one. Like the way of thinking, like the expansive thinking is, it seems limited with this one. Or childish, or they have the way they understand things is, yeah, obsolete or old-fashioned or yeah, it's not enough somehow. And you need people like you, I think, Aries, here to expand something. Or even, I want to say, if you have people around you that are like-minded, that are like you, that think like you, maybe it's easier to find that, that key maybe you feel more relaxed in hatching because now you have support here. Like again, I said something about earlier, something about it's like there's no evidence of your, I hear greatness. There's no evidence of the greatness in this, the potential in this. But if you could find supporters here, or followers, or community, like-minded people that understand you, it would help, right? It would help you in believing in your idea. It would help you believing in your qualifications. It would help you believe, even if it is a very grandiose thought here, even if it is a very grandiose thought, like maybe it could be of help to not only you and humanity. It could be like larger than life, grandiose plan. And if you could find community, it would make it so much easier to actually hatch this project. But by doing it all alone, maybe it's like it's too much. And you have come to like a dead end. It's like you don't know how to get past that one. Yeah, and now I take another card here for the King of Air, if you could have a little more about him. And I get ether here. And I said that before, right? I said it's like the one thing that misses here is ether. I have said it before, like ether is like the top of the iceberg, or the icing, the frosting icing, or on top of the cake. Like this is the one that makes everything possible, or that illuminates or something. Let's get the this card. It's the 11 card. So we actually have 11 here. We have 11, or 11 there as well. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so it says here the seamless unspeakable with the ether card. 0 point field, the void, blank canvas, a threshold. Anything is possible. Time to choose what you want to bring into your life. Endless possibilities, limitlessness, and paradox. These are key words for this card. This illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the silent meditative moment out of time, the centered and present place beyond the hustle of the mind and outside world. It is where all dreams are birthed, and it is the light we may fear to be darkness when, just for one moment, everything ceases to exist. This is the place between worlds, the womb, before we incarnate, and from here we can choose where we go. The land has been tilled in readiness for the flowers we wish to seed. Outdated doors have been closed, and in the space between the breaths we open the new ones. What may be perceived as the endless black nothingness is actually the illuminated eternal, the core that all our fears may be peeled back to. When we step through that darkness, we realize it is only a short distance away from the white void at the center of creation and heaven. Herein lays the feeling that we may have been striving our whole life to meet, and yet simultaneously, subconsciously running from. In this place of graceful surrender, we may know we are held and allow ourselves the spaciousness to drop deeper into the experience of our existence. So this actually makes sense, right? That there's a void here, something that it's still in making, and there is a potential in that to become very aware of the qualities of the void. Maybe you like the void to persist. Maybe that's why you stay here, right? Because if you leave the void, this is going to change also, right? So sometimes, well, a dream can almost, or a fantasy can almost be better than the real life. So staying in that can be maybe lighter, easier. Again, you can mold it, right? You can shift it, give it new color. You can change the shape of it. Like, as long as you are the creator of it, you hold the key, you're the creator, right? You're the one that decides what's there and what's not there. But I feel like ether here is exactly what this is. Like, it's the void, the nothingness. Maybe you feel like you've been here for a while and it just seems like it's not shifting. It probably is. It's just, again, it may take more time than you think. Like, it may take longer. If you could go and get it, you would. But there could be an awareness here that this is something that I don't, like an egg, right? It hatches when it's ready. I can't do anything about it. If I do it too soon, like the chicken dies, right? Or the child dies. The new creative invention or creature or me, the new me dies. So I can't force it. I just have to stay in this void somehow. Yeah, this is what I have, Aries. Let me know what you think. But this is like what I feel. And like feeling the pull of like the world that calls you, maybe the finances, the things that you have to take care of, the loved ones around you, and then feeling the pull of this also. That it's like you have embarked on some kind of journey, and it's like you can't just shut it off, right? That's what I feel like. I hope this helped, Aries. Let me know what you think, right? Or give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Yeah. I send you my very best, Aries, as always. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.